Hello everyone, Ryan here. I'm in the middle of working, well, kind of, doing Postmates deliveries, and I know it's been about a week or over a week since the last time I uploaded to this channel. You know, I've just been busy with work stuff and family stuff and other life stuff. And it's, but I wanted to briefly talk about some of my favorite sci-fi novels. I don't know how many. I think right now I just got 3. I can only think of 3 right now. Maybe 5. I don't know. But no, mostly because, you know, I felt like, and I wanted to do like, you know, an actual planned out kind of video where I edited and all that. But I know by the time I get home, because I mean it's 9:30 something right now. By the time I get home, I'm really not going to feel like doing anything other than having a couple of beers and plopping down in front of the TV. But so, anyways, and mostly because I wanted to do this because I felt like a lot of my favorite sci-fi novels, I feel they're very underrated, especially when you consider the fact that a lot of them have been adapted into movies, more than one movie adaptation. So first, I want to mention, I don't know what that was. It sounded like a train horn in the distance, or I don't know if you heard that. But War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells. Obviously, this has been adapted into, I want to say, 2 or 3 movies. Most notable one that I guess people are familiar with is the one with Tom Cruise, and of course they changed a lot of details in that movie adaptation, but definitely the novel is worth reading at least once, in my opinion. Not only because, you know, it's a cool like alien invasion type story, but in fact I want to say, I'm not sure if it was like the first alien invasion novel, but I want to say it was definitely one of the first, you know, if not like one of the first 3 or 5 novels about any kind of alien invasion. That's what I think. I don't know for sure, but and not only that, but the fact there's different things in that novel in which, like, you know, one thing I remember I was surprised about the first time I read it. You know, the fact that H.G. Wells, he pretty much, like, he accurately described how a laser could work. You know, because with these aliens, when they come down in the novel, they come from Mars, and of course they're in these like ships that are like kind of like almost pod shaped, and you know, they shoot lasers, and except, so I mean, I'm not even sure if in the novel H.G. Wells used the word laser. I don't remember because it's been a while since the last time I read it. But I mean, I have read it at least 3 times. I know that. But yeah, I mean, you know, he accurately described lasers during a time when, you know, there was no such thing as lasers. So yeah, I don't know how he did that, or I mean, unless, you know, because he did some research on, I don't know, light, the way light is reflected or refracted, or I don't know. Again, that's another thing I can't say for sure, but and of course I know it's the novel itself is supposed to be some kind of commentary on something to do with the I want to say Russian army, Soviet army, something like that, during a time when, of course, a lot of people were afraid of getting into a war with the Russians. Just like today. No, I can't even really remember a time when people weren't afraid of getting into, or rather having to fight against the Russian army. But yeah, of course, War of the Worlds novel. I highly recommend reading it at least once. Honestly, the movie adaptations don't do it justice. I mean, yeah, they're okay, but no, if you want the full effect of the story, you gotta read the novel. So, yeah, I mean, at least that's just how I feel. Next one I want to mention is one by Ray Bradbury, but of course not the one that most people are familiar with. The Martian Chronicles. Martian Chronicles by Ray Bradbury. Because, I mean, really, I don't know a whole lot of people. Well, I don't know a lot of people who read in general, but I mean, especially on Booktube, I've yet to come across anyone mention the Martian Chronicles by Ray Bradbury. I mean, other than me. But then I don't. Maybe I just haven't been looking hard enough, or haven't been narrowing down my search parameters. I don't know. But yeah, that one I just like. It's of course, it's I would say, like, it's kind of, in a way, it kind of reminds me of H.G. Wells' style, but it's slightly more in depth because there's a lot more like emotional kind of stuff involved with it, and it's very interesting because it spans, like, it's supposed to take place sometime in the 1950s, and I want to say it spans something like more than a couple decades, possibly 50 years at the most. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've read that too. I've only read it twice, but and yeah, I've always felt like it's one of Bradbury's most underrated works. I mean, I don't know, maybe that's just where I live, but and I'm pretty sure there's no movie adaptation of it. I've yet to come across any. But yeah, I mean, it again spans so many years, and it's almost kind of like journal form, but a little more in depth. And it deals with, the first astronauts that come and they colonize Mars, and they meet all these different Martian people, try to befriend the Martians, but the Martians are pretty much well aware of mankind's innate ability to destroy things and to, like, try to control things and destroy things. And yeah, it's just of course I would like to do a more complete review of it. I think that's what I will do, but I gotta reread it again. Don't know exactly when I can reread it. But yeah, Martian Chronicles by Ray Bradbury. I highly recommend reading that also at least once. So another one off the top of my head, The Time Machine, also by H.G. Wells. I would say this one has to be my all-time favorite. Definitely my all-time favorite sci-fi novel, book, story. And of course, yeah, there's been several movie adaptations of The Time Machine. But again, honestly, and while I would say the adaptations, they get, for the most part, they get most of the stuff right, but they still leave out a lot of important details, I feel. But yeah, I mean, I've always believed that Well, I mean, I've always been fascinated by time travel in general, as I'm sure a lot of other people have. But the thing I like the most about the time machine is that, you know, it doesn't just give you a glimpse of, you know, mankind's possible future. It also, like, it takes you so far beyond that. And I mean, in the novel, like in the movie adaptations, you know, they're like I said, they leave out a lot of details, and like most movie adaptations. But then the time machine in the novel, you know, pretty much towards the end, it goes so far into the future, and I don't know, just for me, ultimately, like, you know, it always, no matter how many times I read it, I mean, I've read it at least 3 or 4 times, and yeah, every time the ending alone, I mean, I like the entirety of it, obviously, but the ending alone really gets me thinking about time and space and mankind's future and whatnot. And so yeah, I mean, because of that, it's my favorite. It's my all-time favorite sci-fi novel. You know, I don't know what else to say about it. I believe I did a review of The Time Machine quite a while ago. If I can find it, I guess I'll post a link to it. If you want to check it out, you know, because like I said, like, I just wanted to briefly mention some of my favorite sci-fi novels. And so yeah, I think I'm going to leave it at that, because I don't want this video to be too long. And plus, I got to get back to work, or at least try to get back to work. So yeah, that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about for this video. Let me know what are some of your favorite sci-fi novels. I mean, if you happen to enjoy that genre, or even if, you know, there's any like recent sci-fi novels that have come out, let me know about them, because I'm always on the lookout for really good sci-fi novels, short stories. I read movies. I mean, anything to do with sci-fi, I'm interested in. So yeah, that's it. That'll do it. What was I going to say? Oh, I'm distracted right now. I'm in this parking lot at Jack in the Box. I don't know, there's weird people hanging around right now. Yeah, it's close. It's getting close to that hour when all the weird people come out. So, including myself, I guess. But yeah. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. As always, next, and don't forget, keep it real, keep on rocking. Peace.